Hi everyone. I hope everyone's having a great day. I am here with Chrissy with Oliver and Bonacini, a beautiful venue here in Calgary. They have multiple locations in Calgary, and I will get her to talk about it. So if you haven't visited them, please do so. Thank you so much for coming, Chrissy.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me. Yeah, I mean, Oliver and Bonacini is kind of we're part of an overall bigger group that's out of Toronto. So, it got started with Michael Bonacini. Don't know if anyone's familiar with MasterChef Canada. Um, and so he was part of the founding pair, him and Peter Oliver, that started the group, and it really exploded in Toronto. And it was so successful in Toronto that we've, as though I'm starting it, they decided to expand into Calgary, Montreal. We were in Saskatoon for a little bit. And and we're just kind of continuing to grow. I feel like every day I hear about there's like a new opening or something new happening. So yeah, we're kind of part of an overall group, which is really nice. Here in Calgary, we have the Hudson, which is where I work out of primarily. It's a large scale venue space. We can host meetings of up to 500, or we have weddings of 50. We're kind of all around the scale in that one. And then we also have the Guild restaurant, which we also actually host weddings in. And that's kind of our restaurant space, located on Stephen Ave. Then we have Sabrosa, which is located beneath the Guild, and that I call that our nightclub prohibition speakeasy space. That space is available usually Sunday to Thursday. And then we have Buffo Ristorante. So Buffo is our restaurant, our Italian restaurant located at Chinook Mall. Super cute little space if you were looking to do like an engagement party, a rehearsal dinner, or you maybe had like a bit of a smaller wedding and we're just looking for something a bit more intimate. So yeah, we kind of run the gamut in terms of venues here in Calgary. So usually when people say, "Oh, I think, I can't fit into your space," I'm like, "Bet you might." Like you might fit into something. So, we usually try not to take the first no. We're like, "Well, you could fit somewhere." So yeah, that's the great thing about where I'm at particularly, is that I have lots to choose from and lots to sell.
I love that. So I stand corrected. There's four. I
Yeah.
know about the Guild and I know about Hudson's, but I wasn't aware of the other two. So I'm gonna have to come check it out.
Yes, yes, please. Yeah. I mean, Sabrosa it runs as a nightclub on Fridays and Saturdays, a little bit past my bedtime, but during the week if you're looking for an rehearsal dinner, engagement party, let us know. We're definitely open to that.
I, that's awesome. Thank you so much, Chrissy. And how did you come about being part of the Oliver and Bonacini brand?
Well, I started at events. I feel like, well, I won't age myself. So I started events a really long time ago. I started with a catering company, and that's just kind of how I grew to love events and parties. I loved, the great thing about catering is I loved setting up and tearing down every day, and I loved something new, and I loved that events always made me nervous, and I think they still make me like happy nervous. Like I think every time there's like a wedding or an event or something, I still like when I know what's happening, I still get kind of happy, nervous, and still are am always really excited to have one. So, yeah, I started with catering company, then moved into restaurants, and then in 2017, I saw this really great venue that was on top of the bay, which I thought was such like an iconic space, and really a smart idea for somebody to kind of take like a maybe a otherwise unutilized space and turn it into something really cool, like an event. So that's I kind of got connected through there and I applied, and yeah, I've been with the company since 2017, and I've loved every minute of it. Yeah.
That's awesome. It's definitely a bonus when you find someone that loves what they do.
Yeah.
It definitely shows in their interactions and just the way that they go about the events.
Totally. I mean, I think we're all, I work with a really amazing group of people. I think we're all like just really passionate about um sort of moving forward and finding new ideas and coming up with better solutions. And I find, when you work with such like a great group of people, that always really helps, and it makes you happy to come into work every day. Where you know what I mean. And so I think where what I found at OMB is like a company culture that I find is better than most restaurant cultures, and I found something where there's just such a great group of people to be around every day.
That's awesome. Thank you. And what about all of your venues? Let's talk about the Hudson for just a moment. Is the Hudson fully booked for 2025 in regards to weddings, or are there
It's
openings?
not fully booked for 2025. We have about like 20 weddings. I mean, obviously, and I would love more. We offer kind of for like that downtown bride that's looking for, sort of a city feel, sort of like a cool, modern, clean feel. And I think we're still booking. So we still are looking for more brides and more grooms.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Great. And what about your other locations? So the Guild, Sabrosa, are they fully booked for 2025 or they have openings as well?
The Guild definitely still has openings for 2025. I have a couple weddings booked there. I'd love to be booking more. I think it's a really great space for a cocktail style reception wedding. I mean, the great thing about any restaurant wedding is that the decor is kind of all built in for you. You just have to be, kind of creative with how you set things up. And so I think the Guild is actually one of my favorite spaces for a wedding. So that space isn't fully booked. Definitely hit me up. Bufo, we're definitely, we're open for that as well. So, again, rehearsal dinner. If you're looking for a smaller wedding of 50, probably 50, 40 would be the max in there. Then we definitely are available too.
Awesome. And are you booking in 2026 already
We
at
are,
this moment?
yes. Yeah, we are booking into 2026. So, um, we do have a few on the books, but, always looking for more, and, always open to working with new couples.
Perfect. And with OMB, do you guys have your own wedding planners or do you like contract them out or does the couples need to get their own wedding planners?
I always say that's kind of up to the couple. What we personally handle is the food and beverage and the venue. I always say if I always recommend getting a planner. I find if you have a planner that takes off so much of the decor stress, so much of the timing stress off of you. And so we do have a list of preferred planners that we work with, but every year I find I meet more and more planners in the city, and I think it's so great that this city is constantly having fresh, young, fun talent and coming up with brand new ideas. And so, yeah, we're open to all planners, but we have a list of people that we've worked with a few times.
Awesome. Is there, so I am a wedding planner myself with
Nice.
Forever Yours. I'm not so young, but I do have a lot of experience under my belt. And like yourself, working in the hospitality industry, starting at restaurants and kind of doing banquets and a whole bunch of other stuff. So I would love to work with you guys as well.
Please. Yes. Yeah. I mean, the thing I love about a wedding planner is that I think for a couple, it does take off that day stress. I think, trying to figure out how to get like Aunt Sally, on time, you know what I mean? And also try to get like the dog in the photo and then get the dog home and all those things like, as a venue, we don't handle. We just handle your food, your beverage, and your setup. And so I find if you don't have a wedding planner, that's kind of when I find those things sort of turn into a little bit of chaos. And so I always recommend having a wedding planner. Just kind of helps with that stress.
Absolutely. And I like to talk to my couples and just kind of explain it to them. Yes, it's great to save
Mhm.
money and have your aunt or your cousin doing everything, but at the end of the day, they're here because they want to celebrate with you. And they're not able to celebrate if they're worried about other stuff. And the more
Totally.
they drink, the more they forget. So
Totally. Yeah. Actually, my question always is with couples. I'm like, who's going to be the most sober by the end of the night that like can make any sort of big decisions? And then I also find, just with that, using your aunt, using a cousin, something like that, I find there's always some little, like you said, always like a little something that, maybe they weren't quite thinking of or they assumed. And I think when you have that professional planner who is like prepared, has their list of, questions, has their list of, tasks. Nothing really ever gets missed, nothing ever really gets forgotten. And so you end up having the perfect wedding or a great day because you don't have to think about, when, the sparklers come out, and you don't have to think about, finding somebody to help you, take the cash donation box or what have you. You know what I mean? So, I find with most of our couples, we do recommend they get a planner.
Yeah. Even like day of coordinator at
At
least,
the least, yeah, at the
with
least, like please,
experience.
yeah,
Yeah.
at the least, yeah, and don't use your aunt. I mean, I've had enough site visits. I'm sure you've had with aunts where you're like, lady, I mean, can you? So I love when people use real professional planners.
Yeah, me as well.
Yeah.
Perfect. Was there anything else you wanted to talk about, Chrissy?
I think like we are just really excited for the 2025 season. I'm excited to see all the new trends and kind of see what everyone's sort of coming up with. I know last year was a big thing of ribbons, and I'm kind of excited to see how everybody, yeah, I don't know, like what are the 2025 trends that you think everyone's going to be looking for?
Yeah, I know it's very like sleek, and a lot of brides I'm finding are very like minimal. They want the classic.
Right.
They're using a lot of the natural elements of each
Hmm.
venue. And I'm finding OMB, especially Hudson's, has that uniqueness, which I feel brides are actually wanting and couples wanting, not necessarily just brides. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm interested to see what the color scheme is going to be. Um, and yeah, I'm super excited to work with you. And for everyone listening, this is the wedding blueprint on YouTube. So please subscribe and follow and watch because there's going to be lots of tidbits and help for everyone in regards to vendors and venues, as well as Forever Yours as your wedding planner. Thank you so much, Chrissy, for taking the
Thanks, Chris.
time to meet with me today. And I look forward to 2025.
Thanks. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.